Hello and welcome everybody to an episode of Pod Strickland. I'm your host, Shwin and Prez, in this episode 422. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Prez, that is @_Presidente on Twitter. Prez, how are you doing?
I'm feeling very patriotic after my native countrymen of France took home a victory. No, just kidding. Team USA also won. Good games. Good games.
Yes, very fun games. We'll probably talk about that. Probably talk about a lot of things. But before we do that, I do have to make a few announcements. First, that Strickland has an Instagram. Check that out. That is @the_Strickland on Instagram. We're posting all kinds of new content on there. Strickland has a YouTube channel where you may be watching this podcast. If you are not done so already, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment. That'd be a huge help to us. The Strickland also has merchandise, which you can find on our website at www.strick.land. There's a link that'll take you to the merchandise store, and you can find all kinds of cool stuff on there, like t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, coffee mugs, water bottles, you name it, we got it. Strickland also has a Patreon, which you can subscribe to. There are a number of different tiers. There's a $6 tier that gets you access to Pod Strickland's podcast that I host every Friday. Prez. You also get access to Text from Avi's Bozos, our news podcast that is hosted by Andrew Steele, aka Doug, along with Zach Blatter, and you get access to the Strickland Discord with the conversation never stops. There are further tiers. There's a $9 tier that gets you access to Strickland Roll, my solo pod where I rant about the next game more. You also get access to wonderful premium articles by Matthew Miranda, one of the best in the business, and now you also get access to Strictly NFL, which you guessed it is our podcast that is about the NFL that is hosted by Constantine Metricos. There are further tiers. There's a $15 tier, $30 tier, $50 tier, and a $100 tier. This comes with a variety of additional benefits that listen on pod recordings, merchandise discounts, and even potentially co-hosting a podcast alongside yours truly one day, whether you choose to subscribe or not. None of this would be possible without you. And none of this would be possible without BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads of the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here. There were two games today. Both were pretty fun in their own different ways. I'm pretty shocked France is in the gold medal game. They sucked in the kind of warm-up games prior to the Olympics. Their guard play is Wemby also, he hasn't even played that well, at least not offensively, and yet here they are. They've had an easier path, I guess you could say, but I don't even think that's fair to say, actually. I mean, Canada was a favorite over them. Germany was favored over them.
And both of those teams are as good as Serbia or any non-USA team.
Yeah. So, I'm just surprised they're here. I do think this is... Look, I know the U.S. had a close call today, but Jokic and Bogdanovic are a dynamic that France will not be able to recreate, and I think this... I don't think this will be a very competitive game, but kudos to France for getting here, because I certainly did not think they were going to do it. And especially if you told me that Wemby was going to shoot, where did he shoot? 4-17 today from the field. He's had a rough couple of games here scoring the ball. I think you're seeing... I will say that, I'll save this. I will save this. But yeah, I'm impressed. I think their coach deserves a lot of credit. And look, man, Evan Fournier was a joke in New York by the end of his time here. And Nicola Batum is a nice NBA player.
He's retiring because...
He's not retiring.
I thought he was retiring. Why did I think
he was supposed to? I mean, that was the rumor, but he ended up signing with the Clippers. So he's still in the NBA.
That's right. Good
but
for him, because he could still hoop out here.
Yeah, but I mean, look, those two guys have been critical to them making this run. And
the crazy part is Batum didn't even play that much down the stretch for them this time.
Yeah.
To your point about the coaching, it's one thing that I enjoy about watching the FIBA international tournaments and Olympic tournaments is I think the combination of different rules, a different court in terms of dimensions, and occasional single elimination games means there's, in my opinion, more ways to victory in terms of like X's and O's than in the NBA, or if not more ways, at the very least different ways that we don't see. Like I tweeted this, but during the last FIBA Olympic tournament, like Latvia was the team that went on the crazy run with like all this off-screen movement shooting early 2000s style. And like that doesn't happen in the NBA because like over a large sample size, those shots aren't inefficient. You have dynamic isolation play and pick and roll play that's more effective. And what France is doing this time around is another shit that you don't see in the NBA. What did you just see? What are you fucking grinning at?
Don't worry, I'm just
God.
making some comments. So
Yeah. The like we talk about it like, okay, they didn't have a good guard play. Wemby didn't shoot well. Fournier shot well. But how did they really score a lot? Fucking power forwards who can't shoot,
fucking Lasort and Yabusele.
bodying people and getting to the line and just putting in work around the paint. Like another lost art, that was
Tibbs
pretty
would be
much,
proud of this team.
especially old Tibbs, or should I say younger Tibbs. Young
Dude,
Taj Gibson type work was being given out by by France.
I gotta say, man, Lasort, I've never seen 2 games in a row like that. Like he's just, I feel like he gets every fucking offensive rebound, and then he's playing so physical that the other team has like no option but to foul him. I don't know. It's been incredible watching him. I kind of
Well, that's
unironic.
Canada and Germany's, especially Canada in particular.
Yeah,
like, we talk about Canada's perimeter guys, like they're all NBA hoopers to different degree, but like who's stopping a fucking post up in Canada? Kelly Olynyk.
yeah. I mean,
Dylan Brooks is strong, but he's 6'5", 6'6".
and
Like
he was terrible. They just stopped playing him at the end of that game. I mean, they should have anyway. He was, I don't know what their offense is absolutely fucking terrible. If there is like
their coaching was terrible, full stop.
yeah,
Like I'm just gonna say, like when SGA was cooking, it was like fine, but like their offense was really just like SGA doing his thing and transition, and then the same RJ Barrett pistol set that a 7th grader who watches the Knicks can implement into a team, since that's all the Knicks did for RJ. Like there was nothing in there beyond ISO ball that was really leveraging SGA or Murray or even RJ that much. It was terrible.
If this is the offense,
You got Kelly Olynyk, who's like actually a capable passer and handoff guy, but instead, because it's easier, you're just doing fucking hero ball through SGA. If I was Canadian, coming off of Kendrick stomping on Jake, and then this coaching showing, I wouldn't show my face in the international company. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I'm a Nets fan, I'm not particularly thrilled with what I've seen from their Team Canada's offense so far. So,
yeah, that guy can't make fucking offense. I know they're not a balanced team, but if you can't get creative with that, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do with the the Nets roster.
Yeah, well, that's not our problem, luckily. But yeah, so kudos to France, and I will say, like, France deserve to win this game today.
They were pulling Gobert out when it mattered. Sometimes they were pulling Wemby out in the first game, and then today they were like
they were
hooping and coaching out there.
They deserve to win both these games, and I think the difference between the 2 games though is like they just straight up bullied Canada. I mean, that's what happened. Yeah. I didn't think Germany was like out physical necessarily, or at least if they were, it was just not.
It didn't feel like they were punched in the mouth. Like
yeah, Canada. It was just different. It was a very weird game. It was like they started off like garbage, and then it was like then in the middle of the game, it looked like they were going to run away with it. Germany makes a run at the end, end up getting a pretty nice finish, but good game. And then I don't know, that Team USA game. All I'm going to say is Steve Kerr should he should thank his fucking lucky stars that Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James all decided, and particularly Steph and LeBron today, he should be thanking his lucky stars that those guys chose to come back and play for this Olympics, because the coaching performance that he put on today was a fucking abomination. That was atrocious. it was similar to the type of coaching that we saw from Tibbs in 2021-22 that drove us absolutely fucking crazy. And he is, again, just so lucky that he gets to coach a team that is so it's not just that it's stacked on talent. It has the three best players of that generation, arguably, definitely the top two. And I just, without them today, again, in particular, LeBron and Steph, there's zero chance they win this game. Like there's just no, like they won this game not because of anything. It was not because they overwhelmed Serbia. It was not because they were on fire from three or they out executed them or their defense was so stifling. It was because those guys were just like, nope, we're the best players. We're taking this. Peace out. Ant-Man, I don't know what the fuck that guy was doing. I don't know what the hell he was doing getting more minutes in the first half than KD. I don't know what the hell he was doing getting minutes at all in the second half. I don't particularly care about the endless arguments of like Tatum deserves minutes or this guy should have his minutes cut or that guy. If I were Jason Tatum, I'd be like, what is it that you think Anthony Edwards is doing today that helped you win versus what I can do? Like watching that game, I mean, it felt like Serbia got rebounded like 45% of their misses, which is amazing because they also were not missing that much. I thought Tatum would have been really useful, way more useful than Ant in this game. I understand it's one game and you don't want to abandon your guys, but that lineup, that the hockey sub thing he did in both halves, I mean, that nearly killed them. That nearly was just a margin they could not overcome, and he did it in both halves. I cannot stress how horrible that coaching job was. I mean, the fact that he left that Bam and AD lineup in as long as he did in both halves, when as soon as they came on the floor, Serbia was like, okay, we're playing zone. That's what we're doing. And he had fucking Bam spaced out in the corner. And it's like, dude, do you really like, it's cute that Bam has been like shooting threes. You know, it's like, it's cute. Can we be serious? Like, can we really be serious about what the threat of that is, if it's a threat at all? And if it's a threat, is it a threat to the other team or is it a threat to your own team? I could not believe that. I thought he did a terrible, terrible job today. I think he got really lucky. And I think he got lucky because this team has two of the top 10 players of all time. I mean, LeBron, to me, second best player ever. Steph, another top 10 guy. And then they have another guy who's like, you know, is probably like the 28th best player of all time. So shout out to Kevin Durant. Had to get that in there. But yeah, also I want to like, there was a lot of like, oh man, Joel played really well and he deserves credit too. Joel Embiid, he could not get a fucking defensive rebound down the stretch of this game. There's 3 straight offensive rebounds this guy missed. And one of them was like, it was like next to him. It was like me grabbing this water bottle, except he just did nothing. He just stood. And what is it, Milutinovich or whatever? That guy destroyed him on the glass. It was crazy. I think actually on the fourth one, so the way it worked is there was one possession, missed shot, Milutinovich or however you pronounce his name, gets the offensive rebound, standing right next to Joel Embiid, lays it in. The next one, he gets 2 offensive rebounds on that possession, both because Embiid either didn't box out or didn't go for the board. And then they finally score. And then the next possession down, he was about to grab another one, and then KD came down and was able to poke it away and get it. But it was like, this is why the Sixers consistently suck at defensive rebounding. It is not because everybody else on the team. It's because your fucking center can't grab a defensive rebound and doesn't care to or isn't aware or whatever. It doesn't really matter why. He's not a good defensive rebounder. And that, again, that nearly cost them today. I do not think this will be a problem against France. France does not have the physicality. Not necessarily physicality is the wrong word. I don't think they have the size in the way that Serbia does. I mean, Jokic and those other guys that were in there. Who is it? Petrusev, who's like, he's a pretty big guy.
France has height, but they're not using that height to score near the rim like that.
And they don't have Jokic. Like,
yeah.
that's like it. Like, Jokic was a nightmare for them to defend throughout this game. And I will say, like, coming out of this game, I don't really think there's much of a debate of who the best player in the world is, man. Like Jokic was unbelievable. The fact that Serbia was even close to winning this game, I mean, yeah, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable, and I don't know what else to say. I just thought he was amazing in this game, and I thought it was just it was a fucking awesome game. It was honestly, as much as I'm a LeBron hater and a KD hater and whatever, like it was pretty cool to like see those three guys kind of like have this little. It was like their run, kind of right to close the
It was
game.
like a Avengers team up. It was like, oh shit, like
Yeah, it was
we've
like
seen them
fat.
do this separate, but like when Cap shows up with fucking Mjolnir and this
But
motherfucker shows up,
it was like the end game one because they're like a little bit washed now. So it's like like you get like Fat Thor and
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah, you Cap with Mjolnir. It's like, why is LeBron leading the offense? Oh well, it's cool. Like, like he's 40, he's supposed to be past that, but he got the juice. He was playing his ass off, and it was funny because like we talk about it in the regular season, right? Like he's almost always on cruise control on defense, but like the shorter game period combined with it being just one game, like he was able to lock in more. Jokic was able to lock in even more on defense, and I think Jokic has always been underrated on defense. But
He's gotten
like,
better though for sure.
yeah, and he was fantastic on defense for Serbia today as well. So like, it was
He
just
got fucked on that one call in the first half. He definitely got that shit clean
mhm.
on 80.
His hands are so crazy that like the refs are just like, of course you fouled him, but like this motherfucker has ninja hands, so like I get it. I get why he's tight because he probably gets more of those called on him than he should. But yeah, it was cool. Like man, that beginning was so rough. Like thank God for Steph because it was already ugly. It would have been some historic levels of selling of onions. So it was something to see. And yeah, I agree with you on Joel. Like the shot making was timely. It was one of those games where like you just need shots for sure. Like you just need some people to fucking make shots. Since Steve Kerr didn't want to play the guys like KD until later who are actually the best at making shots. So like Joel, you're out there. I'll talk about this later on the pod, but like this motherfucker can't move. Like if you're on the floor, like you better be hitting your fucking 55% mid-range shot and making dunks when you have them and hitting wide the fuck open three-pointers and stuff like that. Like that is the least you can do on this team.
Yeah, I
Um,
just don't understand this. Like oh, we get like he earned like
he did his job. He did his
yeah.
job. He
Congrats.
did his job on offense. Like good. You didn't do your job on the glass or so much on defense. But like you said, thankfully, like other guys were able to lock in. It was also weird. Like I know they don't play together a lot, but like what goes through their head? Like it was everybody in the first half on defense. Like LeBron, Ant, Drew, I was counting like the stupid gambles and like weird double teams that were just
So
horrendous ideas, and it was just like, what the like,
here's my thing.
what did you think is gonna happen here when you double Jokic? Like,
Here's my thing with that. LeBron is allowed to do that because like he's old and he should have that freedom. And he's LeBron. I'm sorry. Like you just get like on a team like
you
this,
let a basketball genius do that
yeah.
stuff.
Like he gets to just like do shit like that and it's fine. Again, Drew Holiday, I don't know what the hell that guy was doing today. The fucking one that drove me absolutely crazy.
The baseline
That
double.
that one was stupid, but
Yeah.
forgetting the double stuff, fucking LeBron he gets like a steal, throws this full court pass to him. He's got a layup or he's got Ant running down the opposite wing that he can just throw it to him for a dunk. What does this fucking guy do? He stops, turns, pitches it back to Steph for a three. I understand Steph is on fire. I understand it's Steph Curry. I understand you had a chance. Like, just take the layup. You're down. You've been trailing all fucking game. Take the automatic points. Take the free points. And Kerr apparently was losing his mind too. I mean, I don't know why he was because his dumbass had him fucking Ant in the game there too. But like that was I don't know. Drew was ridiculous, and then Ant today. I'm sorry, like forget the gambling. For a guy that's as athletic as he is, there's way too many times he's getting blown by without even a screen. And this is like Serbia's ball
Oh
handling.
yeah. What
All
is up
kind of,
with that? Like he was not this bad in the NBA playoffs at point of attack.
he was
Right?
bad. He was bad against Dallas in that series. He was really
Dang.
bad in that series. He was like fucking awful actually in that series, I thought.